Hey, companions! Welcome to our first ever town hall. I'm Lawrence, and I also wanted to introduce to you my co host for tonight, Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca!
Hi, Lawrence.
Rebecca and the team put together a short video to take you through all of the new and exciting changes on the companion. And if you miss anything, coming next week, we will clip this longer video and embed them into the various FAQ or about sections so you can check it out there as well. And if you have any questions while you watch the video or just, throughout this whole event, you drop them into the comments and we will compile them as we go and we'll talk about it. All right. Ready to roll the tape, Rebecca?
Let's do it. Everyone, I hope you enjoy.
Hi everyone, my name's Nick. I'm one of the co-founders of The Companion.
My name is Tommy Valentine. I'm the product manager at The Companion, and I've also been the producer on projects such as Stargate AI and Brad Wright's Conversations in Sci-Fi.
Hi there, my name is James, and I'm the editor of The Companion. That means I'm responsible for all of the written articles.
My name's George. I'm the community manager here at The Companion, and also the author of the Jack O'Neill Lessons in Living with Lost piece.
Hi there, my name is Ben. My role at The Companion is the project lead for operations and data insights.
I'm Rebecca Davis, and I'm a producer here at The Companion.
Hi, companions. I'm Lawrence Cow. You may remember me from such films as Stargate AI version 1.0, Stargate AI version 2.0, or maybe Stargate AI version 3.0. I'm joking, of course.
Outside of The Companion, I'm also the lead guitarist in a band called The Fontaines. We're currently writing our first album and gigging across Essex and London.
I'm a dad of two little sprogs who keep me busy running after them most of the time.
I enjoy role-playing games, watching rugby league, and buying really weird old books secondhand.
I'm a co-host and producer of a Stargate podcast you may know called Three Fries Short. I love cons. Dragon Con's my home con, and you can usually find me there every single year.
I've been frying chicken for over 10 years now, constantly trying to find ways to get an even crispier crunch and juicier bite. I also love to spoil my dog Hugo.
Here's a photo of my kids after building a snowman in the garden.
Now this is the 1994 Doctor Who fanzine, Hand of Omega, with this grotesque but visually striking melting face of Kane.
So what I do have is this metal die-cast unicorn.
I've got a signed movie frames from Dark Knight, very cool.
My very own embroidered Stargate.
This webby honorary that we got for Stargate AI, and I think the whole culmination of Stargate AI was when I got to go to GayCon in Vancouver last year and actually show parts of Stargate AI 3 Atlantis, and sitting on stage with Lawrence Moroney and Paul McGillian answering questions from fans. It was just one of the greatest moments of my life, honestly.
I just really believe in what we're doing, it's simple as that. I love the fact that we can make original work and it makes someone smile, it makes someone's day, it's huge.
To have a place that cares about in-depth, long-form explorations of science fiction.
As a fan of shows that ended a decade or 2 decades ago, I know that we are not done talking about them. I know that we fans are not done exploring them, not done finding new things to appreciate about them. And The Companion is the only space I know that actively gives us a place to do that.
I've been part of an amazing community that has built up around The Companion and Stargate that I never knew was out there before. It's so nice to find like-minded people.
As the co-founder and CEO, my main focus is to set the vision for this platform in order to constantly explore what else could The Companion do to make your fandom life better. And hopefully, with our new website announcement today, we are getting ever closer. Welcome to the brand new Companion. Welcome to the brand new Companion. I'm so excited to be hosting our first town hall event with you.
Over the past several months, we've done a great deal of research. To get to this point, we have been on Zoom calls, in-person meetups, and sometimes pizzas after conventions to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. And all of that has gone into what you're seeing now. To kick this off, I'd like to give you a tour of the new homepage to get you acquainted with the layout and format of our brand new site. Let's head to the top to get going. Looking to the top left of the homepage, the first thing you'll find is a toggle for light and dark modes. And that's right, a search button. Many of you have mentioned you always forget passwords, so we're joining the passwordless movement. Instead of needing to remember your password, when you click sign in, you'll notice that only a field for your email pops up. We'll deliver your login straight into your email. Moving on down the page, we come to the menu bar where you'll find Discover, videos, audio articles, podcasts, and news. One surprising thing that was consistent in our conversations is that you wanted to know more about us. So, in the About section, you'll find a ton of information on the mission of the companion, the staff and contributors, and one of the ways to get more information on accessibility. All right, let's get to the good stuff. The main part of the homepage features 3 featured articles, 1 in the middle and 2 to the left. To the right is a list of the latest posts, and the label's clickable so you can actually find everything. If you look at the bottom right of each post image, you can see some round icons. Some of these images have 1 icon, and some have more. These icons represent the different ways you are able to consume the post: watch, listen, or read. Scrolling down, you will come across some shelves. By clicking the arrows, you'll be able to find the latest content related to the shelf, and for mobile users, you can also swipe like you would if you were on Disney Plus or Netflix. Let's face it, some of you are here just for Stargate, or maybe Star Trek, and some of you the X-Files. This is where that handy Discover button back at the top comes into play. For those of you interested in our key Spotlight franchises, we've created dedicated homepages for these franchises. So that's the new layout. I'm going to kick it over to Tommy to discuss all the ways to find what you're looking for on the new companion.app.
Thanks, Lawrence. I'm Tommy, product manager at the Companion. Random fact, my dog Banksy was actually rescued from the same charity as Lawrence's dog Hugo. But that's not all we have in common. We also shared the same top priority upgrade for the new site, which is search and discoverability. We made it our goal that you will be able to find any story in at least 2 different ways, and in some cases 3, 4, or more. Let's start with the Discover page, which Lawrence introduced earlier. From our beta release, Discover was the most clicked button to get you to something interesting. Besides the franchise homepages we've already seen, we also have spotlight topics. Many of these were suggested by you, our members. If all else fails, you can always scroll to the All Tags section, where you'll find every topic that we have applied to every piece of content. Have fun exploring this section. You'll probably find an article that you had no idea existed about a particular movie or show you hadn't thought about in forever. A personal favourite of mine is the Surprise Me tag. We've tagged several articles and posts with it that we thought would potentially not be on your radar, but definitely proved to be a delightful surprise to us. Aside from tags and search, one of the key ways we want to help you find your next favourite piece is a new section we're introducing, the Further Reading section. Instead of sticking the links into the middle of the article that may disrupt your reading experience, we've created further read toggles that you can click on after you've finished. This is a new feature, so let us know how you like it. So that's it. In most cases, you'll have 3 or 4 ways to get to the article, video, or podcast that you're looking for, or maybe to one that you didn't even know you were looking for, but might just be a new favourite. I'll send you back over to Lawrence to talk about some of the accessibility and customization options.
Thanks, T-Fang. Now, let's talk accessibility and customization. Our first season of audio articles was released at the end of last year. This is a continuing project that came about from several suggestions for making our long read articles more accessible. We ended up swinging for the fences with an immersive, audio experience complete with sound design and music. But the idea was based on our desire to give our members more options for how to experience our thought-provoking content. Let's quickly talk about font choice. We're now primarily using a serif font. That's the curly, fancy-looking font, as some research has shown that it can help you read 40% longer. However, we also know some of you will struggle reading serif font, so we've created a dedicated accessibility resource for you in our About section. There, you'll find our instructions on extensions for the major browsers so you can enjoy a more user-friendly font on the companion and, well, actually, your entire internet experience. As stated in the accessibility page, if you have any other suggestions, feel free to reach out to us at support@thecompanion.app. My next topic is around profile editing. If you ever want to change your details, such as your name, email, or update your newsletter choices, you can do that all in your account. Our next section talks all about new content. Rebecca, I choose you!
Thanks, Lawrence. Hi, everyone. My name's Rebecca Davis, and I'm your friendly neighborhood producer. I'm here today to talk about some new content for you, some of which is available right now, and some of which is coming very soon. If you're like me, sometimes you have time to listen to a thing that you don't have time to watch. On your commute, or while you're cleaning, walking the dog, going for a jog. It's with that in mind that we're turning all of our video events into audio podcast episodes. I've been working on getting them all converted, and as part of that process, I've been able to go back through and listen to all of our video events. I'd forgotten about some of the wonderful moments we've had, from Brad Wright talking about his writing method and how no one should copy him, to Amanda Tapping being a boss and asserting herself to producers, John Delancey waxing philosophical about Q, and Robert Picardo talking about balding gracefully. You can hop over to the Stargate Franchise Showcase and hear the 25th anniversary celebration Stargate Legacy in audio form at this very moment. You can also go over to the Companion podcast page and subscribe, which will give you access to all of the VOD Pods, audio articles, and so much more. I'm super excited to talk about our new Spotlight topics. I love any opportunity to show how diverse fandom is, and 3 of our topics specifically do just that. Take a look at our Discover page one more time, and you'll see a Spotlight section. This includes, among others, POC, LGBTQIA2S+, and disability and mental health. POC includes articles related to people of color, such as our Christopher Judge Elevating Black Voices in Sci-Fi Roundtable and our To Boldly Ask episode with George Takei. Speaking of George Takei, he is also tagged in our LGBTQIA2S+ Spotlight, which includes a wonderful collection of long-read articles, including The Matrix, Transgender Allegory, Applicability, and Me, which can be read or listened to as an audio article. Perhaps the most exciting Spotlight topic, which was actually recommended by members, is the Disability and Mental Health Spotlight. In here, you'll find the beginning of a growing collection of articles and soon-to-be podcasts and videos dedicated to stories about chronic illness, mental health, and differently abledness of all kinds. People want to see themselves on screen, and it's with that in mind that we also want people to see themselves within the articles and other content on the Companion. Well, some of you may have noticed, but Season 2 of the Companion's audio articles began releasing last week with 2 articles to get you started off right. And this past Thursday, we released one of our most popular articles in audio format. This season's delivery will be weekly instead of all at once. Spoiler alert, look for a Picard-related article next week, just before the premiere of the final season. Well, that's it. Well, some of it. Actually, just a little bit of what we've been working on. Keep an eye out for a whole lot more. Back to you, Lawrence.
Thank you so much for celebrating the launch of the brand new Companion at our first ever Town Hall. Come back to this video if you ever forget how to do or find something, which you can find in our FAQ section. And of course, you'll be able to find this video in at least 2 different ways. Thanks, companions. Hey, thanks everyone for coming and hanging out and checking out our new website. And if you have any questions, of course, I think we mentioned already, please tell us in the comments below. Ben will record them and then Rebecca will pull them up and we can talk about that. Rebecca, you were a pretty early member. What's been your favorite change from the old site to this one?
Well, I've pretty much said this from the beginning. As a member and now as a staff member as well, I always had trouble finding things on the old companion site. So being able to see like everything that we have to offer now is super exciting. So I think that's probably my favorite change. Just searchability, all the tags makes it really, really easy to discover things that you didn't know you were looking for before. I think originally I was super excited to be able to go to the live events and see the videos, but now I can consume a whole bunch more of all the media that we have to offer.
Oh, that's good. And I can see there's so many other members that we spoke to as well, whether it's from feedback with the audio articles or the website, Oren and Peter and Erica and just lots of folks here. And so everyone, thank you so much. Hopefully we are doing you justice. It's not done yet. And before, I think when we first announced the beta, you will be able to find an article or video or podcast in 2 different ways. We've actually increased that to 3, 4, I think sometimes even 5 or 6 different ways.
Yeah, that Loki, I think that Loki article is 6 actually. You can
6,
find
right?
it 6
Okay.
different ways.
Right. And one thing that we kind of cut from the video because it was getting a little bit long, you'll notice little icons at the bottom right of each of the different thumbnails. And did we cut it from the video? Maybe it was.
No, it was in there.
No, it was in the video. But that was kind of a late game change where we thought, if the tags for some reason, weren't legible or you couldn't see them because they're kind of small, we have little icons in there just like burned into the thumbnail. So you'll be able to see that if it's a video, like a podcast or an article, and we just introduced a new one with tickets. And so, as we have events and other kind of master classes and things like that, as we plan, you'll kind of see there as well. Hey, Maeve is here as well. Hey, Maeve. All right. Well, in the meantime, I think questions are kind of coming in. And we also had some questions actually sent in to us earlier before. So Rebecca, if you can pull up some questions now, I'm very happy to answer them.
I would love to do that for you. So the first question is pretty broad, but what led to the change in the website?
Yeah. Well, the biggest change to the website actually begins with the decision to press pause on the mobile app. So about 1/3 of our users use the app, at least regularly. I love our app. I plan and I hope for it to come back even better one day. But pressing pause was really the key because the challenge of running an app and a website at the same time meant you often had to make a compromise, or if you wanted to create a new feature, it was almost like you would have to choose the lowest common denominator between the two. And so we kind of looked at the data and spoke to members. About 70% of all the usage of the companion came from the web, and specifically the mobile web. And so it wasn't an easy decision to make because, it's our name, the companion.app, from the very beginning.
Sure.
But by focusing on the website and primarily the mobile web, we can make huge leaps and all of a sudden on search and discoverability and accessibility. And so, whenever I was designing something for this new website, it was always what did the mobile phone, what did the mobile version look like first? And then I would kind of design what was the second. And so, I'm really confident in saying now that geeks like us, fans like us have something that rivals world-class publications like The Atlantic and The New Yorker and Vanity Fair. If you're watching this on a browser, go and check them out right now, side by side. Don't leave the stream.
Yes, please stay.
Stay, but have them both open, and you can, the companion and say Vanity Fair. And I think I would say now we rival them in some ways. Obviously, they're huge multi-million-dollar companies, and so we'll be chasing them, but we won't be far behind, and hopefully surpassing them soon.
I do really like how elegant our site looks now, and especially for some sort of sci-fi fandom website, it's very refreshing. I love the way it looks now.
Yeah, I mean, one more thing to add to that as well. Unfortunately, by not having an app, well, not unfortunately, but by not having an app, the things that we've done also to increase, I guess, the usage of the companion, like getting things onto Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Google Podcasts, etc. So we're trying to increase, accessibility, I suppose, to the content. In lieu of, like, say, an app at the moment. But our app is still alive at this moment, but it will be sunset, very soon. So please come on to the mobile website.
Yes. And what wasn't included in that video is a way to add the mobile web as an app basically on your homepage of your phone, and that is in the FAQ section on the website, I believe. If it isn't, I'll make sure it gets there.
Yeah,
But I'm
that's
pretty
right.
sure
So
it is.
if
Pretty sure it is.
if you're interested, for example, in using the companion kind of like an app, like before, like you could still get to like an icon that is like
Mhm.
the app itself, but that takes you directly to our website. And so that's kind of how I've been using it for the last 2-3 months when we've been designing it.
All right.
Another question, Rebecca?
Absolutely. I have is the content going to stay the same?
No way. No, it's definitely not going to stay the same because, to be honest, the content, the experiences, the events, I think they need to keep getting better. And so if they just stay the same, it's like, I don't think it's doing the members any good. And so, if you look at what we were doing on day one versus the end of year one, the end of year two, it just keeps evolving. And so as we grow, I think we can continue to find even more unique stories, cover more franchises, which again, hopefully brings in new companion fans or new companion members and new fans. And then that kind of builds a better community. And then we can actually be able to invest more and tell more stories, and that kind of snowballs into each other. So no, I really hope the content doesn't stay the same. And there's no plan for it to stay exactly the same. Yeah, that's my answer to that.
I like it. I like it. So next question.
Yes.
What features did you want to implement but did not make the cut?
There are many. There are many on the list. But what I actually realized kind of over the kind of winter period, early January period, was that after speaking to a lot of the members, were they actually features that I want, or are they the features that you want, I guess, or how members use it? So when we first rolled out the beta version of the website last December, we brought in about 100 members. And within the first week, speaking to about a dozen of you, I quickly realized, whoa, we were like creating some of the wrong features. And your feedback was really great, whether it's through a survey or through Zoom or something like that. So for example, we mentioned in the video, discovering content was the most important thing. So that changed our entire thinking. So instead of just adding a search bar, which is like the first, kind of feature that we had in mind, we added a much more robust tagging system. So instead of having single tags, we added multiple tags, and you can find related stories. And then specifically, as you read an article, there's kind of further reading, in between the article, and then also further reading at the end. And again, these kind of toggles we kind of played with in terms of just kind of different versions and different ways to kind of present it. So hopefully it gives you a way to be able to continue reading, without kind of disrupting your reading experience on that one particular article. And I think the other thing that we spent, or at least I realized, I spent too much time like optimizing for the home pages, and really, the companion is all about the article, right? Or the podcast or the video. And so actually then shifting and spending a lot more time actually on that kind of reading experience rather than the discovery experience. That was the other thing that kind of changed midway through. And then finally, in the early designs, the team not only would see the mobile web version first, or, before a web version. One of the members had said like, oh, I'm going to be really sad you're going to be losing the app. And so we thought, okay, well, what other ways do you use content? And they said RSS feeds. So it's like, okay, let's implement RSS feeds. And so every single tag when you go through on the, I guess technically the top right corner, you'll be able to add that RSS feed. So for example, if you're just into I don't know, say Stargate and Dune and Marvel, you can just have those RSS feeds kind of come into whatever RSS feed you're using. And if you don't use RSS feeds or you don't know what that means, honestly, don't worry. I don't know anything about them either. I don't use them. Not I don't know anything about them, but I don't use them. And so you're still using the companion the way I use it, and we'll be sending much more frequent newsletters with full content in the Discord as well. I couldn't quite get it to work on Friday, but I was trying to implement a webhook. So every time we published a new article, it would actually go directly into Discord. So you'd never have to miss anything. So those are the kind of things that we've been.
Hopefully that'll kick in soon. And, all those like 10 tests that you sent through are going to come through at some point.
Yeah.
It'll be really funny.
You're
when
going to be like, did this work? Did this work now? Yeah. Hopefully it'll come through at some point.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is an interesting question. And I think it's an obvious answer, but it's important to say, which is, can I feedback on future changes?
No, you can't. Yeah, of
absolutely
course
not. You're done.
Yeah. No feedback. Yeah, I mean, the most instantaneous way to do that is on Discord. People have been doing that already. You can find the link in our About section. And then like in the About section, we have like a social media links there. And then you can just go and click there. I'm there basically all day. Yeah, so just like message. And then because Rebecca is in the US, we almost have like 24-hour coverage. I'm based here in London in the UK. So yeah, otherwise look out for more surveys and one-to-one interviews. I love speaking and meeting all of you. And so yeah, please sign up to one of those things and we can just hang out and we can hear any kind of changes or suggestions that you have.
I was super excited with every change that we did make. We were able to see like specific people that even suggested those changes and everything. So it's really, it's so cool to see just how much we listened to everybody that had advice for us. It was really great.
Yeah. Another question, Rebecca?
Yep. How often will articles and audio articles be released?
So the plan right now is daily. We actually ran a kind of a little bit of a test, a little sprint test towards the end of last year when we started doing daily news. A lot of the kind of interviews that we spoke to, in interviews where we were speaking to you, you said that news and like we do real news, authenticated news, we verify things. We obviously have the actual creators, the actors, the directors, the showrunners. And so, we're like not clickbait, we're like news. And so it seemed like everyone was pretty into it. We were featuring at the time movies, TV shows, gaming, and comics. Didn't seem like comics was too hot, at least from my memory. Gaming might be something that's pretty interesting. And so those are the kind of things that we'll start to test and bring out, and hopefully you like it. And if you don't like it, we'll not do it anymore. Let's see what else. The other big change is that in the feedback, a lot of you haven't been able to read most of our articles. There's probably, I don't know, 100 hours or 50 to 100 hours of just article reading that you were never able to get into. One reason, our fault, search and discoverability, totally. And another kind of, reason was because time constraints. Whether you were parents or commuting or whatever, it was just really challenging to be able to read. In fact, oftentimes it was almost apologetic, like, oh, I wish I could read it, but I didn't. And you know what? That happens with us on the team too. We see an article, we know what it's about, but we don't actually sometimes get to the final version, the final draft, because we have to work on the next thing. And so, things like audio articles will continue season by season, every single week. We have the VOD to pod, as in we're changing all of our video on demand to podcasts. To Boldly Ask will also be turned into podcasts. So all of those kind of things, yeah, we just want you to be able to experience it, hopefully in as many different ways as possible. So that's kind of how the release schedule will be.
Thank you. So big question here.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's on a lot of people's minds. Will there be another Stargate AI or AI project?
I think so. Yes, I am actively working on it in 2 different ways for it to continue. And so this is kind of how I've been thinking about it. The first path is to create incredibly memorable cast reunions and fun events. So that's kind of how I see Stargate AI, right? The original idea when speaking to Brad Wright, the co-creator of Stargate, the television series, was around, it was during lockdown, and how can we bring the cast of Stargate together? One of the original ideas was to read, like, say, 10 pages of the pilot. Unfortunately, certain things around that couldn't happen. And that's when AI was first introduced as a concept, and Stargate AI as an example. And so part of it is like super fun, right? Bringing the cast together to bring Stargate back to life, even if it's non-canon and it's purely fantasy, super, super fun. Easily one of the top 5 most memorable evenings that I've had, since lockdown. And so the goal is to create more of these kind of events, whether it's AI or not AI. And I think it's going to be even more creative and more fun. And I think you're really, really going to like what we have. And some of them are just going to be weird, which I think is also fun. The second path, or the second question, really is around the AI part. So when we first started Stargate AI, it was a while ago, actually, artificial intelligence wasn't really talked about. Or at least everyone thought we were stupid, or, hey, people have done this before, like Sunspring, and, have you checked out that screenplay? Lots of skeptics, lots of doubters. You should see some of the YouTube comments, like on our IGN trailer as an example. Holy smokes. And then, by the time we got to Stargate AI 3, right, in the last 6 months, the internet has gone AI crazy. Everyone's on ChatGPT and Midjourney and, all the other ones. I can't, can't even list them all now.
Right.
And so one of my top priorities is to explore, well, how to make our AI, even more fun and more memorable. So yeah, it can come in the form of a Stargate AI, but actually, maybe it can come in like more of a form of like a game or something more interactive. So like you could live the life of, say, Stargate or anything else. And to be honest, there's a lot of other franchises that we could do something like this with. And so it's about mixing in kind of the philosophy and the approach that we've taken, and really it's Lawrence Moroney has taken, of like Stargate AI. And then once we kind of understand, how can you make it feel a bit more like the franchise, and then you start adding in the layer behind it, like with any kind of large language model. And in this case, it could be ChatGPT. That starts to kind of get like, say Stargate or Star Wars or Star Trek, and then also like kind of coherence, I guess, going on. So anyway, those are the kind of things that we're like actively pursuing on both sides. I'm actively pursuing. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I have one more question, and then we do have some questions that have come through for you as well. So
Wonderful.
my last question for you is, will the shop be back?
Yeah, in some form or another. We're actively planning basically a new event slate, and that's kind of what I was talking about with maybe the cast reunions and some of those kind of things. And so hopefully those ideas are unlike anything you've ever seen. And so we hope to then create like really cool products that will hopefully not just like are random, but actually enhance that event even more. Like as a simple example, which is not necessarily what we're doing. Previously, when we had a masterclass, you would get a companion notebook as an example. What else can we do to like help make an event or a class or something like that even better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So I have a question from Mama Knox Erica, and I'm not sure either one of us can definitively answer this question, but I'm excited about the possibility of an answer, which is anything coming up on the Sandman series?
I have no idea. As in, will we cover Sandman? Yeah, maybe. Will it come back? I hope so. Neil Gaiman, I believe, is some kind of fellow advisor to the Arthur C. Clarke Award, in which they have been very supportive to us, and we are very good friends with them. That is the most I know about that.
Yeah. I would love to see some coverage from us on Sandman. That has
Yes.
always been a favorite graphic novel series of mine, and I love the TV series too. So, all right. Oren, our friend Oren, says, do you think that the Discord community will keep going when you inevitably grow much larger than now? I love it, but I see the struggles of scaling it.
Yeah, I don't know actually. The Discord has been quite interesting because some members, as an example, they don't want to join the Discord at all, even if they're quite tech savvy. They actually would like us to maybe create a forum or something else like onto the companion itself. And so we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But right now, I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. But yeah, I don't know. Let's find out. Let's see.
Sure. Soma, I don't know how to pronounce your.
Broof.
I will never know how to pronounce your screen name. A bit of a left field question. I love the wooden background, but what and where is it, Lawrence?
Yeah. Well, you are in my flat, and I actually am not in London. I'm in Switzerland. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not in a cabin in Switzerland. What you're actually looking at are we call them the barn doors. These are doors. Let's see, in here, and actually you'll see these shelves that have been built. I'm not gonna necessarily open all of them, but I'll show you one thing. I've got all these very nice labels, and very quickly, because they're so deep, I have boom mics, I have lights, I have camera equipment, I have computers, I have lots of stuff in there. So it's actually quite easy for me to be able to, go in here and, if I have to, get a lens out or something, it's all kind of here. So that's actually what it is. I don't think I've actually shown anyone this.
No, everybody always wanted to know what's the.
Yeah, if you want
the
to
wooden
find
background?
a spare PlayStation 4 right here, Xbox controllers, like hundreds of games. As an example, I was organizing my games recently. I need some WD-40. That is actually what you're staring at. And so, yeah, for example, not lying, we have hundreds and hundreds of PlayStation games I'm trying to sort through right now. So anyway, I don't know.
Excellent. It is a very impressive system. I got to see it in person one time. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Gemma asks, hi, companion. Are there any more master classes planned? And I think we maybe sort of alluded to some ideas, but yeah.
Yeah, so we've had some members say, well, first of all, people who attend the master classes tended to love them.
Mm-hmm.
But we had some members say to us that they were maybe a little bit either intimidated by the master classes or, I don't want a career in acting or in writing or anything like that. But if you have a different kind of event, maybe it's something that I'd be more interested in. And that's kind of what I was alluding to. Rebecca and Nick, they're actually going to be leading the kind of creative of these events. And then I'll really come in and help maybe shape the format when some of the early ideas come in. And so, yes, either they will come in the form of master classes, but we also have other kinds of, lighter ways for you to be able to participate in events. And really what we want to focus on maybe is not so much just say education or learning, but allowing you to be able to get to know, say somebody like Michael Shanks or Brad Wright or Frank Spotnitz or, any other guest. And we would love if they can get to know you a little bit better as well. And I think that's one thing that the Masterclass really did well is that, you're literally getting deep into a conversation about something specific or a show or a scene. And so, I think I saw, we're able to experience, I guess, like a little bit more of that kind of personal connection that you typically don't get. It really became teacher student. And so in another way, we thought, could we create other environments where it's a bit more like peer to peer? And I think that'd be really fun for everyone. And Gemma, I hope you join them.
Yes, please do. This question, I feel like kind of goes with that question, which is Jonathan Clark asks, any plans to, well, I'm sorry, I put the wrong one up. Soma again says, any more general question, what is your favorite event or new project, article, whatever interests you most coming up this year?
So we have an event. In fact, I think, Rebecca, you can kind of answer or if you can talk about it because you're leading the project. So I'm kind of speaking for you. I don't know if we should reveal anything yet about the top event that we want to be doing.
Maybe not the top, no.
Not the top. But maybe can you describe, Rebecca? Maybe you can't describe like what the feeling is like when you first heard the idea, or when we were first talking about it.
Um, yeah. So going back to what you were just talking about these experiences and making these connections, and what we're trying to work up for everybody, and why it's so exciting is, as someone who has gone to many conventions, have paid for pictures with people, done autographs, everything, all of it, I have never experienced some of these ideas that we have, and I'm super excited about them. So I know it's a very vague answer, but as someone who who has done all of the con things, the things that we're working on right now are unlike anything I've ever experienced before. So,
You know what? I have a running joke on the team sometimes with some of the different members that hang out that are in London sometimes, and which is I'm always basically saying I'm going to take Amanda tapping out to go karaoke as an example. I think it'd be really fun. I don't know why. It just seems like the thing. Um, that's kind of how I see what these events are going to be like, if that makes sense. I mean, no one's going to go karaoke. We're not going to take Amanda to karaoke and then you're coming along, but that's the kind of style that we're talking about.
mhm. It's super exciting. I'm very, very honored to actually be able to be part of this, and basically trying to lead this plan. And I, as someone who consumes all of that, I think everybody's going to really, really enjoy what we have to offer for them. So
Yeah, so I think before we kind of announce like, hey, we're going to do this or that, or even kind of tease, sorry, it is a tease. It's kind
it's
of
a very, it's a big
it's
tease.
because we kind of would need, some of the actors, the writers to like kind of be on board with it. So right now it's just kind of like swirling around. Not swirling around, it's like active, like
Mhm.
literally we're talking to them about it right now.
Yeah.
Any other kind of favorite new event or project? I think the audio articles, and specifically the oral histories, that's kind of a new thing that I think could be really cool. Because with the oral histories, if you haven't read them yet, they oftentimes feature 4, 5, 6 of the different actors or writers or the cinematographer, et cetera. Anyone who kind of made a specific scene or an episode. And I think that's like a really great format for audio. And so yeah, that to me is actually quite exciting because I personally really like our oral histories. I think it's a really cool format that we do.
Absolutely. All right. So here's Jonathan Clark's comment about wanting more information, anything for us to include and start covering dark matter. I love it. It already has a cult following, and that might attract some dark matter fans who don't know about the companion.
Just to be clear, I guess, does Jonathan mean the Joseph Malazzi dark matter, or there's like another dark matter that's coming out that's
I think
not
it's,
related to that?
I assume the Malazzi dark matter, but
Um, okay, if it's the Joseph Malazzi dark matter, I we don't have it on our roadmap, but I think the main reason why is because our friends at Orville Nation, PJ and those that team, they were doing Dark Matter Mondays, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I guess, and you wouldn't want to duplicate anything, and you should like go check that out. I mean, Joseph Malazzi is doing, it was great.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was probably the primary reason why we haven't covered it yet. And yeah, next time we catch up with Joe, we'll certainly ask him about it and chat to him about it. But I'm assuming he would want us to cover what he's doing next, right? And so that's probably the kind of things that are more exciting. I think like he was working on Powder Mage. Is that the right series? And that's probably something that would be quite exciting. I'm probably getting the titles wrong.
Right. I'm not 100% sure either. So,
Okay.
um, interesting question from somebody named Tommy. I have a question. Is the Companion Briefing podcast coming back? I bet one of the hosts of that show is a huge box office nerd and wants to talk about how 4 out of the 5 highest grossing movies are sci-fi.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Part of our daily news push is also, wondering whether or not we could do kind of daily audio, or maybe daily video. And these could be a
Mm.
little bit shorter. And I think the companion briefing is perfect for that. 5-10 minutes every single morning while you're brushing your teeth or whatever, throw it on, and yeah, that'd be awesome. So
Yeah.
I'm optimistic. So far we haven't put that into motion yet, just because we've been launching the website. But yeah, that's definitely on the list.
Tommy knows this, but we kind of chatted a little bit last night about trying to get that process going and doing some planning. So yeah, hopefully it'll get kicked in at some point soon.
Yeah, Erica, actually, I see her on here, and one thing she had asked specifically was around conventions, like in-person conventions. And Erica, I did start building a directories list of every single convention, or at least started to approach and plan how do we build a directory of every single convention. And I kind of realized there were like 20,000 of them, and I didn't know exactly how we would be able to do this. And I know there's other kind of resources out there, so it's not just like some kind of random, article of like, these are the top 10 conventions you need to go to. I thought there'd be something quite there could be a resource or a directory that would be better. Other people have asked something quite similar as well, in terms of like maybe learning about box office. I think Tommy was alluding to that, just because he knows a lot about it, or comic book sales or gaming sales, and those things could be quite interesting. So those are like almost like super nerdy, data driven, well, I don't even would call it like pieces of software almost, but it's kind of like a different kind of resource software thing that we were building on. And so, so I say all that, Erica, thank you for being here. I have heard you. I have been working on it, and then I realized, oh, I didn't know how to integrate this properly. And because there's so many out there, we'll try to get those things up and going as well. But that's that hasn't made it into the website yet.
Erica also has this comment for you, which is eventually, I think a few of you should visit different cities to meet up with a few fans for just a chill out and get to know us better. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe we could do like a road trip. I had this I had this funny joke thing that I actually said out loud to Brad Wright before GateCon, which was, I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna fly to California. I'm gonna pick up Rick in California. Then I'm gonna pick you up, and then I'm gonna pick up. Oh, no, Lawrence Moroney was next, and then I'm gonna pick up you, and then we're gonna like live stream, this whole journey as we get onto stage at GateCon. Obviously, that didn't happen that way, and Tommy went instead. So yeah,
I remember
why not?
you saying that before GayCon.
Yeah, and
Like,
everyone
that
kind of
sounds
thinks,
like
ha ha ha, that's like a joke. And I'm like, no. I just messaged them, wondering
Yeah.
if that would be interesting or not.
I would watch that, definitely.
Wow.
Well,
Any other final questions or comments or anything? I don't want to take up too much more of your Saturdays, but hopefully it's been really fun. And I'm actually surprised so many of you are here. So honestly, thank you so
thank you
much.
for coming and hanging out with us on your Saturday afternoon or evening, wherever you happen to be.
Yeah. Rebecca, do you have any other final questions or anything?
Those are the questions that I had prepared for you. So no, I don't have anything else for you.
Okay. Well, then in that case, why don't we wrap up now? Please introduce the new companion, to your friends. I think hopefully it's just going to be a much better experience. I know people, in the past might have come and gone and enjoyed it, but it wasn't for them, or they couldn't find something. And I don't think they're going to have that problem now. We have actually created a free membership tier for them. And so you will be able to get articles, you'll get things sent into your inbox. And so hopefully they get a lot more out of it, even if they aren't able yet to kind of join us as a paid member. And so that's one area that we've been, really focusing on. Have a great Saturday, and thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.